Welcome to GNN Television Global Network News. I am by name Ayo Michael. Our top story for today: Nigeria to enjoy new lease of life in 2019 as federal government rolls out bumper package. President Muhammadu Buhari administration promises to deliver the dividends of democracy in full in a second time. During the just concluded federal executive meeting, the federal government fired some of the ministers in government have rolled out the developmental programs of the government in the area of power, transportation, and the Federal Capital Territory.
150 million out of the $200 million credit facility for the rural power supply is to be obtained from the African Development Bank, while the balance of $50 million will be provided by the Africa Grow Together Fund. The project, to be implemented by the Rural Electrification Agency, has solar mini-grid for rural economic development, productive appliances equipment for off-grid communities, institutional capacity building, as well as energizing education as major components.
The impact of the project, when fully implemented, will be that about 500,000 people will be able to obtain access to electricity, and this is about 105,000 households. There will be 8 universities that will be benefiting from this scheme, and about 20,000 small, micro, medium enterprises across different communities in the nation.
The facility for the regional transmission project, the minister said, is in the sum of $640 million, out of which Nigeria has the smallest component with a concessionary loan of $27.3 million.
The proposed project aims to connect Nigeria, Niger, Benin Republic, Togo, and Burkina Faso with a high voltage 330 kilowatts transmission line to facilitate energy trade amongst the participants.
Another $20 million loan facility from the French Development Agency has also been approved for the Lagos State Strategic Transport Master Plan, aimed at rehabilitating urban roads and the creation of a minimum of 8 quality bus corridors, as well as 2 multimodal interchanges at Marina and Mile 2.
The objective of the project is to improve living conditions and the inhabitants of Lagos urban area, and to promote urban development setting by efficient and effective public transport system.
In the transportation sector, the Federal Executive Council agreed to a proposal for an amendment to an earlier approval of $8.7 billion for Ibadan to Kano rail project.
What we sought for was a variation because the financing authority wanted to fund just $5.7 billion. And we need approval to now renegotiate the remainder as commercial loan. And that approval was given. Again, the president also approved that we include Oshobo to Ekiti.
The minister also secured the council's approval for the purchase of 23 operational vehicles for the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority at 474 million naira. FCT Minister Muhammad Bello, on his part, announced the approval of over 2.3 billion naira contract for the rehabilitation of 12.6 kilometers of road from the Gwagwalada Junction along Abuja-Lokoja Road connecting Paiko Ore village, as well as the reconstruction of access roads leading to the lower Usuma Dam.
The first contract at Gwagwalada and this one at Usuma all keys in with the administration policy of twin development, developing the city center itself and then the surrounding satellite towns, so that really you'll replicate good quality infrastructure in the satellite towns to be able to make it easier for residents to either stay in the satellite towns or in the city.
Joining me today to discuss the outcome of the Federal Executive Council meeting is the managing editor of Yoruba News World, Deacon Larry Anifoshi. Deacon Larry, you are welcome once again to GNN Television.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the result of the Federal Executive Council meeting, what does this mean to Nigerians?
It's a good development. I think President Muhammadu Buhari and the Federal Executive Council are trying to do a lot of good works toward the tail end of this first term. And with that, they are trying to lay a good foundation for his second term in office.
All right. Nigerians will like to know whether this is not just mere promises as it had been done in the past.
No, I don't believe it's going to be a mere promise. I think the presidency and the Federal Assembly Council meant well for Nigeria this time around, because if you look at the total fund available for this project discussed, about $200 million from ADB and from other third parties. And if you look at the project EMA for this particular fund, power, rural infrastructure development, and roads, which includes rails, I think the Federal Council meant well for the country and our citizens.
Thanks, Dr. Lanre Fowoshe. I think Nigeria will be more interested in power because this has been a very big problem for the country over the years. It seems the federal government this time around is very, very serious about these promises of power in the country. Do you think it will be achievable?
Yes, it's achievable. Quoting from the Federal Minister of Finance, Ajia Zanab Ahmed, he said it's going to affect, the power generation will affect positively more than 500,000 Nigerians, and which is going to improve their much of SMEs, which will create more jobs for Nigerians. So I believe that the power, as according to the minister, will be of positive development to Nigerians as a whole.
What you are saying is that the federal government should concentrate more on generation of power, the local level, I mean for Nigerians first, before we think of our broader country.
Yes, in as much as we want to be our brothers' keepers, we should first of all do well for this country, for the populace, for Nigerians, by giving them power supply before we agree to give power to neighboring countries like Togo, Niger, Benin Republic, and so on and so forth. Because if you look at the deficit between the power generation, distribution and consumption is of about 7,000 megawatts to the expected consumption of Nigerians of about 19,000 megawatts, you can see that there's a huge difference. There's a huge minus. So it's very important for the federal government and federal council to concentrate on giving power to Nigerians before we start giving power to other West African sub-region.
Deacon, I would like you to talk about the rail project. The continuation of the rail project is as if the federal government wants to do something different about rail this time around.
Yes. If you look at the current trend in rail development across the world, the globe, you discover that what is happening in Nigeria presently, we are moving towards that technological development. If you look at the old rail system and the cargoes, there are much differences. The rails now are becoming better, that we made the cargo on it faster, and it accommodate more people. And beside that, the federal government even said the rail system will pass through all the state capitals in Nigeria, especially Ekiti State. For the first time in the history of humanity, we will see a rail system that passes through Ekiti, which means we can move from Lagos to Ekiti through rail system and to other parts of the country, which is it's a good development. And I believe the federal government will actually fulfill these promises.
Yes, the issue most Nigerians are skeptical about is that the rail project is not a new development to the country. In the past, the railway system had been operational in Nigeria, but this system has just become a shadow of itself today. What is going to be a difference this time around?
There are things Nigeria decided to overlook. Nigerian population has increased tremendously in the past years. If you look at the former rail system, there are fewer people going through the rail system. But now the population has increased. More people are on the road, which is not good. If you look at the present rail system that the federal government is trying to do, there will be more coaches. It will be faster because of the rail. the rail line, which is more modern than what we have in the past. Then maternal culture has to be improved upon for us to have, for Nigerians to have the services they deserve from the rail system.
Thanks, Dikin Anifowoshe. The Federal Capital Territory, Abuja itself, is known for very good road network and a very good example in the country. But the suburb, over times, have been complaining. I mean, those areas that are surrounding Abuja have been complaining of bad networks. With what was arrived at the Federal Executive Council meeting, how do you see this development?
FCT, it is very important because if you look at the Federal Capital Territory, the cities, the few cities are overcrowded. People move from rural every day. But if the infrastructure in the rural areas are developed, the road and the network, I think the drift, the rural urban movement will be reduced drastically. People with the SMEs, small scale enterprise, will concentrate in the local area and they will survive and it will boost the economy of the local people instead of them moving to the main city every time. It will decongest the road, then it will give them they will get their earnings and income on daily basis to survive their family.
All right, Dikin, because of our time, we will have to go today. Thanks, and we believe when we call you again, you are going to answer us. Thank you. Viewers, thanks for watching GNN television today. Remember, your suggestion, comments, and patronage are highly appreciated on our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages. Or visit our website at www.gnn.com. I am Ayo Michael.